Hello, hello. It's Mindset Monday, and I wanted to start off today. Like today has been a big mindset day for me. I've had a lot of stuff coming up around mindset and what it means for me and how I think about it. But I did want to mention I am doing this live event on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Come join me. It's about the number one mistake that job searchers make so that you can avoid making it and you can spend less time interviewing, less time job searching, less time on the path of figuring out what you want to do and more time in the job that you want to do so that you're getting promotions, you're getting raises, you're getting excited, and you love your career. So come join me for that. It's going to be super fun. It's about half an hour. And if you sign up, say that you can go, come, like you'll see my event live for that, and come join me for that. That's going to be a super, super fun event. Again, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. It's about the number one mistake that job searchers make, and it'll be a super, super fun event to be a part of. And I'll share all my juicy details there. And you can ask me all the questions that you want to ask me at that time. Okay, so put that in your calendars. And now let's talk about this idea of what if I can't get what I want? What if I try to get what I want and it's not happening for me? And I want to share a story with you about my own experience of doing this. When I was fresh out of college, I moved down to DC and I had $2,000 in my bank account and no job. And I had turned down a job opportunity to make $43,000 a year working in DC at a policy think tank. But it didn't feel right to me. So I declined the job and I took an unpaid internship instead. As you can imagine, my parents thought I was out of my mind. They were like, "What are you doing? How could you turn down this opportunity? Like, it's a job, it's practical, it's going to pay the bills. And like, now you are taking an unpaid internship, and for what?" And so I felt at that time so much the need to do this thing and see it out and see what can happen there that, it almost didn't matter to me what anybody else said. But there were deep-rooted fears there as well. So after I had moved down to DC, I did begin to start having those moments of freak out, those moments of like, what if I can't do this? What if I'm not cut out for this? What if it doesn't work? And I pushed myself very much. Like I cried a lot over it, and it was really hard to trust that this was going to work out. But I kept on going into the office every single day and putting on a good face and, working every single day as an intern and interviewing and networking and so on. And here's the thing, you don't have to have your brain in the game 100%. Like, I know that I talk a lot about the power of positive mindset, and I know that you hear this from me because, law of attraction is a powerful piece of our lives. This is what differentiates me as a coach from other coaches. I don't just believe in the possibility of you doing all the systematic steps and landing something. It's about the mindset that comes with it. It's about how you interact with it. Because if you don't have the mindset that believes in your possibility, then it doesn't matter what steps you take. It just doesn't matter, right? So when you focus on first mindset and saying, this means something to me, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, this is like the focus that I have, and I'll share with you exactly what my focus was back then. My focus back then was finding a career that I absolutely loved that would bring me into the office every day with excitement that I was going to make a difference in this world. And, a lot of people don't have that as their intention. And I wrote an email about this actually. If you're on my listserv, you probably got an email from me last week about this. Maybe it's going out this week. I don't really remember. My assistant would know better than I when my emails go out, but I write them and then she sends them on my behalf. And, when I think about how important it is for me to have intention that's focused, I really want this because it's meaningful, it's important to me. The motivation, the level of commitment to it rises to a whole new place. And I was having this conversation actually this weekend about the importance of like having a purpose in this world, and how a purpose is held up essentially by a series of principles and pillars and plans, right? And so, essentially my purpose is to create a difference in people's lives in a positive way that shifts this world, that makes people a little bit happier. The way I choose to do it is through career coaching, because I found that when people increase their happiness in their jobs, they increase their happiness in their lives and in their families. So for me, it's super important to focus on the aspect of career. And my principles are based in fun, ease, compassion, vulnerability, authenticity, a couple other ones as well. And then the pillars are the things that I love to do behind that. And part of that is coaching for me. Part of the coaching is just one aspect of my life, but it's an important one in my life. And when I think about it from that perspective, I can create a plan that's meaningful to me, because my goal is to help people enjoy their lives better. And focusing on that, focusing on making a difference in that way and seeing that people have improved life is the way that I feel joy currently in my career coaching. Back then, when I was looking for the job in Congress, for me, it was making a difference in the United States. And it was making a difference in terms of how people feel financially in a financial crisis. So as some of you might know, I had the experience as a young kid of going through a financial crisis with my family that hurt my family's ability to, support themselves. My mom felt like she couldn't support her two kids. Obviously, she was able to in some way, but it wasn't an easy life. And I had made the decision that I really wanted to find a way to help people not be in the position that my family was in, which is why I got into bank supervision, financial crises, and so on. And so it was cool that I ended up in my job in Congress in 2008. It's such a perfect time, right? And it's exactly what I wanted to be doing. And so I was so motivated by that past, by that experience that I had, that I was pushing myself all the time to believe in what I really wanted and to let myself know that I was creating something and that I was willing to risk everything to make it happen. That kind of mindset, as powerful as it is, it's not always there every single moment. I knew what I was grounded into, and I still had what ifs. And, it's okay to have those what ifs. It's okay to feel that way. And the question for you is, what do you want to do to feel better in the moment, right? What can you do in the moment where you're feeling the what ifs? Who can you reach out to? Who can be your support to say, hey, it's okay, and you're going to be okay? Because your biggest goal in all of this, in all of your career transition, because it can be very scary. Like, I spent many, many nights crying, many, many nights worried about money, many, many nights thinking like I'm not going to make it. And that's when I called a friend, that's when I called somebody who was going to be in my corner and say, hey, this is what I really want. This is what I really need right now, because I'm feeling so down about whatever it is. And all I was trying to do was feel a little bit better than what I did before. So that's really the goal here. In your mindset work, if you're not feeling awesome, that's okay. But feeling just a little bit better each day, feeling a little bit better in the moment from the previous moment where you feel the case of the what ifs, that's the power right now. And that's the thing that I really want you to think about. When you focus on saying, if your mind is at the what ifs, and if your mind is circling and hearing all that negative talk, and then all of a sudden you go, okay, let me call somebody who can ground me again in that moment and not say the what ifs and just help you feel that little bit better, that is the power of that moment. You don't need to go from feeling really low to feeling really high. I don't believe that that's possible. And I'm sure that many of you watching me think, oh, Lisa's got it together. She's figured this stuff out. She doesn't feel this way. That's not true. I do little increment improvements when I'm feeling down. And so I allow myself to feel down when I'm feeling down. And then if I'm then I allow myself the time to say, okay, what am I going to do to feel just a little bit better? And then a little bit better from there, and a little bit better from there. And slowly but surely, like that shift happens where I'm feeling so much better than I did before. And it's almost like I forgot what I was really upset about. So the case of the what ifs is normal. Don't beat yourself up for having the what ifs. It's a question of what do you do when you're in the what ifs. If you beat yourself up, you're going to keep going down the rabbit hole of pain. But if you choose instead to look at the what ifs and say, what can I do to feel better right now? What can I feel just to feel a little bit better right now? That's going to shift the way you play. That's going to shift the way you feel in that moment, and it's going to shift the way you interact with your job search or your career. So focus on what you're creating in this moment. How much joy can you create in this moment? And it's okay if it's just a little bit, but I do a variety of different things in order to get there. Phoning a friend is one of my favorites because they usually get me to like think about things again, and then we start laughing. But, other things is like watching a movie or listening to Taylor Swift. Yes, I absolutely love Taylor Swift. No shame there. No shame whatsoever. But she helps me feel better. I feel different when I'm talking to her. Or not talking to her, listening to her and singing along with her music, because once upon a time she was where I am, she was like the newbie who wasn't known, who was figuring it out. So trust in yourself and find that way to shift just a little bit so that you start feeling better. That is the power of what you can do today in order to keep that mindset going. Bring that law of attraction in. Keep focusing yourself. And it's going to shift the way you look at your life because it's so, so powerful. Tell me how this is working for you. Tell me what is it that you'd like to do in terms of the what ifs, and what do you like to do to start making yourself feel just a little bit better? Or what do you want to employ this week to start feeling just that little bit better? Because you may have thought about doing this in the past, or you may not have even realized that this is something you do. But now that you have this tool at your disposal, you can start using this every single day to start attracting that job, motivating yourself, believing in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, your actions shift. You're more focused. You're more ready to do what you need to do in order to get the career that you want. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't is this motivation, is this mindset, is this law of attraction. You can have the two people with the exact same sets of skills, and they may not be able to do the same thing simply because of mindset. So think of it from that perspective and see what you can create today to start building up to build down the what if and build up the emotion of positivity, the mindset of positivity, and feeling better about who you are. All right. That's all I have for today. I love you guys. Come join me at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. I can't wait to talk to you then. And let me know if you have questions about this video.